As of November 18th, 2016, a new country has been added to the Rivers Peace Treaty, which was an act proposed by myself, SilverDollar64, and TriggerBleach7. This act would allow the creation of countries and rivers. The act specified the requirements to create a country and the rules a country is bound to, in order for it to operate properly and not tear rivers apart. So much later, after the first three countries, the compound, which is now Bleachland, Victoria, which has been acquired by Bleachland, and Stateness, which is still Stateness, more countries have been added. Some of them have been short-lived, like New Yorkopithia, Birchlandia, and Vanishland. And some of them are still thriving today, like Lumio City, Blake's, Cakelandia, and the newest edition, Retro. Founded by Gameboypower and co-founded by Pickraft, the two worked together to build an array of islands in the sky. They also built cobblestone bridges across each island, connecting the buildings on each one. The country started to grow when people realized that the richest player on Rivers, Gameboypower, had founded it. Knowing that Gameboypower would invest much in the country, it grew quickly. Not much later after that, a new player, Banana Beast Boy, joined Rivers and immediately joined Retro. It seems that new players have a tendency to join newer countries, and that is how almost all the newer countries have grown. In fact, Lakes, one of the largest countries in Rivers, 90% of its residents were once new players at the time. Right now, Retro is making its mark on Rivers through its unique design and its unique shops, and through the projects it's sponsoring from the new mainland. Also, a new act has been passed. So, guys, if you don't know, in late October, after much preparation and excavation, a highly anticipated place in Rivers was officially opened, the new mainland. The new mainland was opened to create more room for shops and building in Rivers SMP. The name, New Mainland, is simply just the word new added to the name of the first area in Rivers that has shops and the main place, aka the mainland. So this is now, it's called the New Mainland, hence the name. However, even with all the hype, the New Mainland hasn't really gotten much attention. In fact, only 4 players have contributed to the New Mainland after its official opening. With all of the reports of the New Mainland getting, of the normal, just the mainland getting crammed, a new act has been passed that will make the New Mainland more accessible. Hopefully, the word will be passed around of the projects happening in the New Mainland, so that this will make more and more players use the New Mainland. Now, the act is called the Thanksgiving New Mainland Act. It's changed its name many times over the course of it being proposed, but we decided to just settle with the Thanksgiving New Mainland Act, because that was the most fitting, because it was a couple of days after Thanksgiving when it was passed. Alright, and this new act will create multiple new buildings, roads, and homes in the New Mainland, so in turn, those new projects will draw attention to it. As of today, with the help of around 6 players, well, not really as of today anymore, since I'm actually reading this from this report. It's actually from a long time ago. Yeah, I know we're a little bit behind here, but as of let's say, oh yeah, November 25th. Yeah, this is quite a while ago. Yeah, as of November 25th, a portion of the New Mainland was hollowed out by 6 players, including myself, so we can build a gigantic hotel and a casino, which actually is already built. At the end of the video, I will show you guys a quick flyby around it, so you guys can see the finishing of the finished product of this hotel that at the time when I was writing this report, we were still trying to build. So yeah, we hollowed out an area so we can try and build a casino, and we built the hotel there, and it was all successful in the end. It's just really, really neat. So yeah. Alright guys, and it's that time again. It's a little bit unannounced, but I think it's time we announce it. It is time for the 5th Rivers presidential election. Usually, even though it's going to be almost an entire month before Michael is out of office, it's time we start the presidential elections right now so we can get the hype up, so we can get people to vote early, and so we can get this thing already done and done quickly, so we can maybe even have a president-elect a couple weeks or even a couple days before Michael gets out of office. So that'd be just really neat. But yeah, it's time for the next Rivers presidential election, so we're all excited for that. And in fact, if you guys don't know, while this video is going to be uploaded, there are already a couple videos added to our 5th Rivers presidential election coverage playlist on the Rivers YouTube channel, so you can just go and check that out. It's really neat. We have all the speeches there, and right now at the moment we only have a speech done by Jackson RFW and Gameboypower, but probably we're going to have more uploaded soon, so it's just going to be really, really neat. Alright, let's get back into the report, because that actually was unscripted. Alright, so since it is the presidential election, one of the candidates in it is Gameboypower, and he is our 3rd player spotlight person for today. So he's the third player spotlight person we have. All right, let's start. Okay, so Gameboypower is truly a success story in Rivers SMP. Starting with a normal starter kit of 10 emeralds, stone tools, an iron chestplate, and 16 steak, Gameboypower sold everything in his starter kit and collected the small bits of money he received from it. Using that money, he built a small business that sold glass that is still operational today. He used his money to buy a small, unwanted, unused, and fairly unknown street in Rivers SMP. Buying that street, he began to build his house on it. He heard that a business that used to be there was known as Compound Farms, originally Greatness Farms. He heard that that business was there earlier. Now, in 3 days, Gameboypower moved up in the list of rich players and was the second richest player, right behind Greatness 685. His glass business was extremely successful, and he received many donations from it, giving him an edge of wealth. Suddenly, he made a decision to invest 3/4 of all of his money, all of his wealth, into the compound farms. Now, while many saw this as Gameboypower wasting his money by investing it into a quote-unquote dead business, Gameboypower was still hopeful. He had many high hopes. But in the next week, the first country, the compound, changed its name to Bleachland, and then the name change was inspired by it acquiring and inheriting all of the vast territory of the country, Victoria, including all of its united lands, and also inheriting the property Vanishland, which was the largest, well, it was formerly now since we have the Golden Banana Republic owned by Banana Beast Boy, but at the time, it was formerly the largest non-country, single-player owned territory. Following the incredible acquisition of territory, Victoria was known as the largest distributor of foods in all of Rivers SMP. Therefore, Compound Farms became the largest food distributing company in all of Rivers SMP. Then, Trigger Bleach 7, the founder of Bleachland and the owner of Compound Farms, decided to buy out almost every enchanted golden apple in Rivers, literally. And I'm also a food shop owner, so I was there when he did it. I was there, and I remember he gave me so much money. He spent so much money on the golden apples. Now, Compound Farms basically controlled the pricing of an entire foodstuffs item, the enchanted golden apple. And in the midst of Compound Farms' rise to power, the profit and money that Gameboypower invested in the business rose to an unbelievable amount. A few days later, Gameboypower sold his incredible 50% side of Compound Farms back to Trigger Bleach 7. After calculating the emeralds, Gameboypower went from the third richest player in Rivers straight to the first in a matter of minutes. The only reason why Trigger Bleach 7, the owner of Compound Farms, is not richer than Gameboypower is because another food shop in Rivers had its grand reopening, and that food shop sold a large quantity of enchanted golden apples, much cheaper than Compound Farms, causing Compound Farms' control over the prices of the enchanted golden apple to plummet. Now, Gameboypower has well rooted his wealth in Rivers SMP, which built an incredible and innovative country, Retro. He has worked alongside multiple admins, presidents, cops, and other various staff members to put the community of Rivers first. As of December, Gameboypower announced that he will be running for president of Rivers in a speech called the New Age Designation, which has been praised to be one of the best speeches ever given by a presidential candidate on Rivers SMP. Now, he is working toward the White House, keeping the suspense and energy in this election growing and growing, and he has record attendances at his speeches, and his influence keeps growing through his shops, campaign, and country. And his videos can be found on the Rivers YouTube channel. And here are some screenshots up on the screen of Dano. Now, I bet some of the people might think, how's this guy running for president? And some people might say, wow, he has a lot of people at his speeches. Because I tell you the truth, he's very interesting. It's a very interesting combo of things for a candidate. It is. But yeah, just, hey, I mean, if people want him to become president, I mean, I guess he's doing something right. So yeah. Okay. And another one is this. So now, since this presidential, the season of being the presidential election, I think it's only fit for us now to do a little bit of an overview of. I think it's only fitting now that we do a little bit of an overview of our election coverage on Rivers and who the candidates are, what their values are, and what their slogans are. All right, so let's start. So the 5th presidential election primaries have begun, and the candidates have been officially registered. Just an insight, by the way, guys. This post is actually quite a bit late, and as I'm saying this, I'm very late saying this. But it still seems fit that we report on the candidates, their slogans, and their values. Now, some of the candidates have not fully described what they stand for yet, but we will still continue to grow to give the new updates on the candidates throughout this Rivers election season. If you want to keep up on all of the election coverage in Rivers SMP, make sure to you can check us out for our election coverage playlist on the Rivers YouTube channel. Anyway, that's really funny. Let's take a look at the candidates. All right, first candidate is Gameboypower or Dano, and all right, the first candidate is Dano. His name is Gameboypower or Dano, that's his real name, and his slogan is "Eat my butt greatness," and sometimes he changes the greatness part to Michael. His values are putting the community of Rivers first, making a new business plan. Oh my days. Okay, his values are putting the community of Rivers first, making a new business plan to make Rivers better, and more details are in his speech, the new explanation of how he will do that, improving the law system in Rivers, and improving the project of the new mainland, and implementing the idea of stocks. The next candidate is Richman7, or Rich. His slogan is "You Don't Say." His values are making the economy better in Rivers, helping out the players more, and reducing crime. Banana Beast Boy, or Joe. His slogan is "I won't let Rivers down," and his values are finding innovative ways to improve the new mainland, motivate players to work for their money, and be creative. And the next candidate, who actually right now he's in the lead, but he's also tied with Gameboypower, because it seems like there's a lot of talk about it's either going to be like a Jackson RFW versus Gameboypower type of election. People think that. So this is Jackson RFW, Jackson. And his username changes every month, but his username Jackson RFW has stuck with him the most on Rivers SMP. His slogan is "Pioneers of the Future." His values are protecting the Minecraft mobs, giving players the same powers as admins, and improving public areas. And the next candidate is Snicker Sammy, or Sam. His slogan is literally just the Lenny face. No, seriously, that's actually his slogan. I'm not kidding. That's like the Lenny face. Lenny face. No, okay. His values are improving the law system, and that's pretty much all of them we have so far, because he's a cop in Rivers. So yeah, I think that's the only thing we have on him right now. If he does come out with more values, then we definitely will add that to his list, and we will most likely not update the video, but we'll update the post that shows what his values are. All right, and then the next candidate is also going to be the last one. He's known as the unexpected threat in the election. He's rising in popularity right now with the candidates, and a lot of people think that he will go a long way if he gets elected. All right, the next candidate is Pickraft, or Harry. He does not have a slogan, but his values are pretty diverse. His values are he wants to aid the economy, he wants to make the new mainland more known in Rivers, and he wants to improve and update the mall, put more emphasis on shops, and he wants to revolutionize the economic system in Rivers. All right then, well, that's basically the candidate overview of the 5th Rivers presidential election. Voting for these candidates will begin on, we think, okay, this is a little complicated, but voting for these candidates will begin on December 11th, 2016, and it will close on December 15th, 2016. In the end, 2 candidates will be eliminated. Note this one thing, remember this, the voting that will be opening on December 11th is not the opening that determines who will become the president, but this type of voting will narrow down the list of candidates we have right now. It's a primary, the primaries, down to a final 2. So who do you think will make it to the very end? In fact, who do you think will become the next president of Rivers SMP? So make sure to leave your opinion in the comment section below, and don't forget to vote in game on the Rivers SMP server, and also to vote on our online poll once the link is released on December 11th. All right, well guys, that's basically the entire scoop we have for today on our news on the Rivers updates. But there's one last thing we're going to get to, and this is a bit of a highly anticipated thing we've been talking about. I'm going to let Daniel deliver it, but Daniel, you just tell him, all right? You just tell him. You'll be better at this. Just tell him.
Oh, okay, we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Going.
Breaking news! Michael's house, better known as Greatness 685, has been, how do I say this?
Prank.
What do we say?
Prank.
Grief?
Prank.
Griefed. Trolled.
Grief.
Prank.
Trolled.
Prank.
Trolled. Grief.
Prank.
Prank.
Prank trolled. Prank grief trolled. Prank grief trolled.
Pancreas.
Prank, griefed, and trolled for one reason only. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
been old. It's been Pringles. Pringles.
Now,
It's been
now, a
Pringles.
few times in this episode, you may have heard me say, I am raising money. Give me a second. Okay. Alright, there we go. A few times in this episode, you may have heard that I have been raising money. Now, you might be asking, why would the richest guy on Rivers with 40,000 emeralds need to raise money? Well, I'll tell you. Is because some person in particular named, give me a second, I gotta sneeze. Greatness 685 has taken every single emerald and dime of my money for himself because I have been
Falsely accused.
really because I have been falsely accused of using the so-called bank glitch. Now, there are 3 reasons that Michael should really back off because he's gonna lose. Anyways, because something got destroyed here.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so I have been falsely accused of using the bank glitch, which Michael knows has been patched. It has been patched. And guess what? I had like 6,000 emeralds before its patching, and after its patching, I had gotten 40,000 emeralds. 40,000 emeralds. 40,000 emeralds, and he took them all away from me because he thought that I was using the bank glitch. He took them away from me. So now I am challenged with getting 12,000 emeralds by the end of tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Let me give my own little insights. I'm unbiased on this situation. I love both you guys a lot. But let me tell you what's happening. So on Rivers SMP, Michael has gotten a lot of backlash because not really. That's not a bad thing. We still love him in real life. Much, but yeah. But if I'm being honest here, Michael he got his house. I guess you say like picketed, I guess, because of like what is with all these fallen sheep.
By the way, Nate helped us. No.
Here's what I mean by picketed. This happened when he was elected in to the White House. This happened when he was this happened to the White House. The White House was actually grieved. Now the players who grieved the White House, 2 of them have been banned. One of them might come back still on the server, but he got reprimanded by huge amounts. And the players who were banned were not banned just because they grieved the White House, but for many other reasons too. That's a whole other topic we're gonna talk about later, right? But yeah, and this Michael's house has been all signed over votes here. This is my sign, even though I'm not really that like passionate, like hashtag no Michael, or hashtag
Wait, Nate, where are you?
Gameboy. I'm spectating his house.
Oh, okay. Let me teleport to you. No.
Yeah, or like it's mine, Michael, something. This is mine because I'm.
Give back Gameboy. Give back Gameboy.
I just wanted to put
GBG.
I just wanted to put a
Guys,
sign there.
hashtag GBG. Hashtag GBG.
And if you walk inside to Michael's house, it turns out that a bunch of people in Rivers who agree with Dano have voted, and they are now putting a bunch of purple sheep and ducks and cows and sand, and someone blew a hole in Michael's house, which I do not agree with. They hit his dogs, put signs everywhere. It's just they call it a prank, which, you know what, I can dub this thing a peaceful protest, actually. What is it, guys, what do you think? Does this look like a peaceful protest to you?
Yes.
It's more like a rant.
Yeah.
Yeah. We's escaped, bruh.
Yeah, but that's like 4 billion emeralds or something. I mean, like
40,000.
I'm spectating the position of like the duck right now. It's hilarious.
By the way, Nate, do you even know where he hid all of my money?
No, Nelson is the one who has it.
Nelson doesn't have it. No, he hid it all in an underground base that Michael told him to.
He said it. Well, I remember Michael earlier. So this is some conspiracy behind. I know conspiracy, all this stuff. People think that Michael's bringing this thing up because there was an audio conversation that was, I guess you could say heard or leaked. Not really leaked. It was only private, but it was said. Michael was saying we need to have more funds in the Rivers bank account, and I plan to add money to that soon, but I need to find a way how. And he didn't have enough funds to, at least even fund the protection of the bank before he can even start putting money in there. People think this might be a scheme where he can get money from Dano to, fund the that little, what do you call it, the bank account. But that's only a conspiracy theory. I don't believe it, and how bad can it really be? But still though, and oh my gosh, look at all this garbage.
Very bad. We're talking about 40,000 emeralds right now. Not even that. 52,000 emeralds right now.
And you guys, if you want to donate on Rivers, make sure to plop a bunch of fat money dough into Dano's mailbox chest right here. It is in front of his house. And yeah, so if you want to help him raise 17 stacks of emeralds before
Actually, it's 21 stacks
before
of emerald blocks.
blocks.
Yeah, emerald blocks. It's 21 stacks of emerald blocks.
If you want to help him raise 21 stacks of emerald blocks before time runs out, please help, because if he cannot raise that much in time, if he cannot have this many funds in time, then Michael will keep all the money. So yeah, and most likely if Daniel wins this, there will be a court case. Most likely if Daniel doesn't win this, there will be a court case regardless. So you can expect video.
If I don't win this, then Michael's house is going to be ash. let's just say that.
Oh gosh, yeah. Alright, well guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Minecraft here on Rivers SMP. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
And make sure to support Game Boy.
Yeah, make sure to support Game Boy. Whoa!
Support Game Boy.
Whoa! Support Game Boy. Yeah, give to, as Ethan would always say, give to a worthy cause.
And don't get us wrong. Michael's not a bad guy, but you know this is a bad thing that he's doing. Like bad things done by good people. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Alright, well guys, thanks so much for watching. And yeah, we will see you all in the next episode with more reports. So make sure
Eat your pizza.
Yeah, make sure to keep up. Make sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date with everything that's happening in Rivers. And we will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.
Eat your pizza. Eat your pizza. Pizza out.
Oh well.
We done?
Oh my god.